Hello again. Today I just want to talk to you about the difference between want and need. So I need water. It's just part of my body's requirements. I need water. But what I would want, what I do want, is an iced coffee from McDonald's. So I need water to survive, but I want an iced coffee, which would provide for my need because I would be getting water while drinking the iced coffee, but I would enjoy the iced coffee a lot more than I would the water. So why is that important? It's important because I think that as a whole, Christians and even the world to a point has gotten it wrong in the fact that it's like they make it out to be that God needs us, that God has to have us. But I disagree with that. I don't think God does need us. Yes, you were called and you were designed for a purpose. That is absolutely true. Or your purpose was designed for you, either way. But if you are unwilling to do what God has called you to do, we needn't think that God's just going to let the task be undone. God is going to have his will. So if you're not going to step into your calling, which you would be the best at it, but if you're not going to step into your calling, God can call someone else. In the Bible, God used a donkey. He caused a donkey to talk. So if God can use a donkey, God can raise up a person to do whatever task or whatever thing that it is he needs done. Now, you may be the absolute best person to do something that God has called you to do, but God's not going to have something go undone because you're unwilling to do it. So let me give you an example. It was many years ago. I had taken, I had been doing my youth meeting, and I came up with this thing that we needed to feed Jesus and starve the flesh. And that was kind of like my topic for a long time, just talking about the things that we have to do to keep our spirit or keep Jesus fed in us so that Jesus is growing, but yet we had to starve our flesh so that it would get smaller and smaller and have less and less control. And I thought it was really cool, and I thought that would be a great t-shirt idea. It would be a great just bumper sticker idea. I just thought it would be really cool, and I should do something with that. And I really felt like I should, but I didn't. I didn't do anything with it. So fast forward, it was probably about a year later, I was taking my son and one of his friends to a music festival, Cornerstone. And, we got there and was listening to bands. And, well, at some point I saw some youth group and they were selling t-shirts and temporary tattoos and they were just selling all kinds of stuff. And I walked over to it, and the thing that they were selling, it was Starve the Flesh. And there was a little part of me that got a little bit upset. It's like, that was mine. Like, I was going to do that. How are they now doing it? Like, that was given to me. I created that. The thing is, God created it. And it was a message that he wanted to be spread. He wanted to use it. He wanted other people to start getting that. Starve the flesh, starve the flesh. I didn't do anything with it. Therefore, God raised someone else to do it. When Moses lost the right to take the people into the promised land, God didn't decide, oh, well, all right, Moses can't do it because he disobeyed me, so I guess all of you have to stay out here and wandering around forever because no. Moses couldn't do it. God chose a replacement. someone who would step in and do it. Now, maybe Moses could have done it better if Moses had been obedient, and God could have continued to allow Moses to lead, but Moses wasn't. So he raised up someone else to do it. God doesn't need us, but God wants us, which is so much better than need. Because in wanting us, we can fulfill the need at the same time, but a want is more enjoyable than just meeting that need. Many years ago, I had read this book that was talking about spiritual journaling. And it was talking about after you pray, write your prayer down, then take a minute to ask God if there's anything that he would like to say to you, and that you should just kind of start writing what you feel is being spoken to your heart. And I'd been doing it for a while, and I felt like through it, God was really teaching me a lot of cool things, and I really felt like God had truly been speaking to me, and I had been learning stuff, and he had been revealing things to me through that exercise. And so I really enjoyed doing it, so it was something that I had continued doing. Well, there was one day in particular that I was writing in my journal, and I was reminding God of all of the reasons I was a horrible person, and all of the reasons that I had screwed up again, and all of the reasons that I would never be right, and I could never do this. And it was just going on and on and on and on about all of this negative stuff about me. So obviously that was a day I was just feeling like I couldn't measure up, and I just couldn't get things right. So I did the next step, and I just took that minute to say, God, is there anything that you would like to say to me? And I started writing, and it was writing good things about me. And all of a sudden, it got to the point where I wrote, you are the apple of my eye. I literally stopped and kind of shrugged it off and closed my journal and threw it off to the side. All right, God's definitely not speaking to me. That can't be God. Because, David was the apple of God's eye. God loved David. I could never be that. And so I stopped doing it. I stopped doing it for a really long time because I thought, oh, obviously I'm not really hearing from God. I'm just hearing myself. But we know that Satan's not going to tell me that and let me believe that it's God saying that I'm the apple of God's eye. And that wouldn't be my thought either, because I had been telling God all of the reasons that I wasn't good enough and all the reasons that I would never measure up. So it really took me a long time to finally accept the fact that really had been God, and that God wanted to spend time with me, and God enjoyed spending time with me. Not because I was perfect, not because I had it all together, but because I was the apple of his eye, meaning he just enjoyed spending time with me. God doesn't need me. God wants me. And that is so much better, to know that the creator of the universe, he wants me. He wants to spend time with me. And he wants you too. He doesn't need you. He wants you. He wants a connected relationship with you. He wants to spend time with you. You getting to know him. Him revealing himself to you. Just being together. He wants you. Do you have a calling on your life that is for you? Absolutely. And you are absolutely the one that could do the best of it. But don't let that pass you up, and all of a sudden, years down the road, because you wouldn't be obedient and you wouldn't step into that calling, you see someone else doing what you know you were called to do, but you refused, so God had to call someone else to do it. So just know God doesn't need you, but God absolutely wants you. Talk to you next time.